Good evening all the students. Today we are going to study about the cellular adaptations. In simple word, cellular adaptation is nothing but adjustments to the environment. This cellular adaptations comes under the first chapter of the general pathology, that is a cellular pathology. So last class I was explaining about the summary of the cellular pathology. Today just I am, before starting cellular adaptations, just I am making the summary in order to understand the subject well. The normal cell, abnormal pathological stimuli or excess physiological stimuli, normal cell will go for the adaptation. In simple word, adjustments to the environment. If this adjustment is not possible, then the cell will go for the cell injury. The difference between adaptation and cell injury, where the cell injury is a functional changes will be there. There is no structural changes. If it is the end result, the cell will go for the cell death. And cell death where there is a functional as well as structural changes will be there. So today's class we are going to study about the only this portion, cellular adaptations. Let us study what is meant by cellular adaptations. Cellular adaptation is a type of reversible changes in the size and number, phenotype, metabolic activity or function of the cell in response to the changes in the environment. So this is the reversible changes. The first one, it is the reversible changes, and there is a changes into the only into the metabolic activity or in the slight functional level. If you remove the causes, the cell will go for the normal. So what is the purpose of this cellular adaptation? Preserving the viability of the cell by modulating its functions. So that's about the simple understanding of the cellular adaptation. So this is the normal unstressed cell and abnormal overstressed cell. So if you have to understand the two characteristic of the cellular adaptation. It is reversible. Number one, it is a reversible. Next one, it is if either it is a normal or abnormal. It is neither normal nor abnormal, by it is in between the normal and abnormal. So this is the simple two characteristic of cellular adaptations. Let us go for the type. As we studied into the last class, we have four type of cellular adaptation. First one is atrophy, decrease the number and size of the cell. It is known as the atrophy. Number two is the hypertrophy, increase the size of the cell is known as the hypertrophy. And next one, it is a hyperplasia, increase the number of the cell, it is known as the hyperplasia. And the metaplasia, the one type of the cell changes into the another type of the cell. So that is known as the metaplasia. Today's class we are going to study about the hypertrophy as well as into the hyperplasia, because there are more or less it's a slight difference. So let us study in detail. So today's class we are going to study about hypertrophy and hyperplasia. Let us start with the hypertrophy. The hypertrophy of the definition of the hypertrophy. It defined as increase in the size of the cell resulting in enlargement of tissue/organ without changes its number. So here only increase the number of the cell without increase the size of the cell without changes the number of the cells. You can see it here. There is a cell and become hypertrophy. The size of the cell is increased. So in simple word, hypertrophy is increase the size of the cell without increase the number of the cell. So this is simple understanding. The hypertrophy divided into the two types based on its causes. One is physiological hypertrophy, another one is the pathological hypertrophy. So let us study the first one, physiological hypertrophy. Physiological hypertrophy, there are three examples. There are many examples, but I am putting into the three examples. Enlargement of the uterus during pregnancy, enlargement of the mammary gland during lactation, enlargement of the prostate gland in old man. So here you can see this is the normal uterus. The size of the normal uterus is 7 to 8 centimeter. When during the pregnancy, it reaches up to the 40 centimeter. So this is the greatest example of the physiological atrophy, enlargement of the uterus or hypertrophy of the uterus during pregnancy. Another example, you can see the tongue, the normal papillary of the tongue. You can see it. There is a papillary unable to see. But if you see in the hypertrophy, there is a papillary hypertrophy of the tongue, that is a glossitis. You can see the papillary will be enlarged. Everything, the papillary will be enlarged. So this also you can take it as the physiological hypertrophy. Normal tongue and papillary hypertrophy of the tongue in glossitis. Now let us go for the pathological hypertrophy. So pathological hypertrophy basically divided into the pathological hypertrophy occurring into the muscular tissue, and there is another one is the compensatory type. So muscular tissue, as we know, the muscular tissue is divided into the three types: skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. So let us discuss about the pathological hypertrophy into the muscular tissue, followed by compensatory type of pathological hypertrophy. So hypertrophy of the muscles. Number one is hypertrophy of the skeletal muscles, hypertrophy of the cardiac muscles, hypertrophy of the smooth muscles. Hypertrophy of the skeletal muscles. The greatest example is hypertrophy of the skeletal muscles in athletics, that is the sports persons. Hypertrophy of the cardiac muscles. Left ventricular hypertrophy due to the systemic hypertension and valvular heart disease. So because of these because of two pathological reason, the hypertrophy of the left ventricular hypertrophy. Hypertrophy of the smooth muscles. As we know, the smooth muscle is present into the pyloric part of the stomach as well as the lower end of the esophagus. So the pyloric stenosis of the stomach and cardiac achalasia in the esophagus is the greatest examples of the hypertrophy of the smooth muscles. So this is the muscular tissue hypertrophy. Number one is the hypertrophy of the skeletal muscles in athletics, and left ventricular hypertrophy due to the systemic hypertension and valvular heart disease, pyloric stenosis in the stomach. Next one, compensatory hypertrophy. Compensatory hypertrophy means hypertrophy of the one part of the organ if the contralateral organ is removed. The example is partial nephrectomy. If you remove the one part of the kidney or one area of the kidney, so automatically the contralateral area of the kidney or some part of the kidney will be enlarged for adjustments to the functions. So that is known as the greatest examples of hypertrophy of the compensatory hypertrophy. Hypertrophy of the one part of the organ if contralateral organ is removed. Example is the partial nephrectomy. So now let us see about the pathogenesis of the hypertrophy. As we studied into the first class, the cells are, as per the cell division, divided into the three types: labile cells, stable cells, and permanent cells. So labile cells means continuously dividing cell, and stable cells means when it is a stimulus, it undergo for the cell division, and permanent cells unable to go for the cell divisions. So these permanent cells undergo for the hypertrophy because there is a no cell division. These are very basic things we should understand about the hypertrophy. So all permanent cells will go for the hypertrophy. The examples of permanent cells I told you, the nervous cells. So all the nervous cells will go for the hypertrophy. So if the causes, the permanent cells, because of this excess physiological or abnormal pathological, that leads to increase the size of the cytoplasmic organelles, that leads to increase the size of the cells, that leads to increased protein synthesis. The end result is enlargement of the tissue and organ. So this is the definition also we have studied. Increase the size of the cells leads to the enlargement of the tissue or organ. So this is a simple pathogenesis of the hypertrophy. Now we'll study about the morphology. Macroscopic and microscopic. Macroscopic morphology, it is the enlargement of the tissue and organ. And microscopic morphology, enlargement of the cytoplasmic organelles and cells, increased protein synthesis and DNA synthesis. Because of the increased size, that leads to increased protein synthesis and DNA synthesis. So this is about the macroscopic and microscopic morphology of the hypertrophy. So that's about the hypertrophy. Then we'll go for the next one, that is a hyperplasia. The definition is a just opposite of the hypertrophy. It defined as increase in the number of the cell resulting in enlargement of the tissue and organ without changes the size of the cell. It's just opposite of the hypertrophy. Hyperplasia means increase the number of the cells without changes in the size of the cells. If you can see, there is a one cell that leads to the one cell will become the three cell. So it is the increase the number of the cells without changes the size of the cell. So that's about the definition. Again, the hyperplasia divided into the two basic types based on the causes: physiological hyperplasia and pathological hyperplasia. So physiological hyperplasia, for our understanding, we divided into the two types: hormonal physiological hyperplasia and compensatory physiological hyperplasia. So hormonal physiological hyperplasia, I am giving two examples in order to understand. Enlargement of the uterus during pregnancy. This example we can see into the hypertrophy also. So in the enlargement of the uterus during pregnancy, there is both hypertrophy and hyperplasia is happening in enlargement of the uterus during pregnancy. Enlargement of the mammary gland during lactation. So this is because of the hormonal changes. So that leads to the it is a best examples of hormonal physiological hyperplasia. Compensatory physiological hyperplasia. Increase in the organ or size tissue mass after partial resection or operation, surgical intervention. So hyperplasia of the one part of the kidney is removed after partial nephrectomy. So this we have seen into the hypertrophy also, compensatory hypertrophy, and here it is the physiological type, physiological hyperplasia, compensatory physiological hyperplasia. Now we'll study about the pathological hyperplasia. Here I am giving two examples. Skin warts, there is a proliferation of the epidermic cells. Granulation tissue formation, that is a proliferation of the fibroblast. After the injury, there is a formation of the granulation tissue. Very beautiful chapter. I will explain into the third chapter. That is due to because of proliferation of the fibroblast. Then next is colloid nodular goiter of thyroid gland. You can see it here. Colloid nodal goiter of thyroid gland due to increased proliferation of the simple cuboidal epithelium of the thyroid gland. You can see it here. Everything is a simple cuboidal epithelium that will be accumulated more. So increase the number of the cells without increase the size of the cells. This is the greatest examples of hyperplasia, pathological type of the hyperplasia. Let us study about the pathogenesis of the hyperplasia. As we know, there are three types of the cells depend upon the cell divisions. So labile cell, stable cells, and permanent cells. Labile cells means continuously dividing cell, and stable cells means it is a partially dividing when stimuli is present. So this labile cell and stable cells undergo to hyperplasia because it is the presence of the cell division. So here very basics about the hypertrophy. So hypertrophy means there is a permanent cell will be involved. Where there is a hyperplasia, the labiles and stable cells will be involved. So this labiles and stable cells, because of the excess physiological causes or abnormal pathological causes, the proliferation of the cells taking place due to activation of the cell cycle that leads to the increase the number of the cells. The end result is enlargement of the tissue and organ. If you see the hypertrophy and hyperplasia, both it is enlargement of the tissue and organ. Where there is hypertrophy is due to the increase the size of the cell. Where there is hyperplasia is due to the increase the number of the cells leads to the enlargement of the tissue and organs. So let us study about the morphology. Macroscopic morphology and microscopic morphology. Macroscopic morphology, it is an enlargement of the tissue and organ. Same like the morphology, macroscopic morphology of the hypertrophy. And microscopic morphology of the hyperplasia, increase the number of the cells and there is increased cell mitosis because the cell division is happening in case of hyperplasia. So that's about the morphology of the hyperplasia. Let us study the difference between hypertrophy and hyperplasia. Very important to understand about the subject properly. We need to know this difference. Hypertrophy defined as increase in the size of the cells without changes in the number of the cells. Where there is hyperplasia means increase in the number of the cells without changes in the size of the cells. Mostly the mechanical causes leads to hypertrophy of the permanent cells and hormonal causes leads to hyperplasia of the labile and stable cells. And pathogenesis type of the cells, as we know, the permanent cell will cells will be involved in case of hypertrophy, and labile and stable cells will involved in case of hyperplasia. And cell division is absent in case of hypertrophy, where there is a present in case of hyperplasia. Morphology, cytoplasmic organelles are enlarged in case of hypertrophy, where there is a normal cytoplasmic organelles in case of hyperplasia. And new cells are absent because there is a no cell division. And new cells are present in case of hyperplasia because there is a mitosis as well as the cell division is occurring in case of hyperplasia. The pyloric stenosis in stomach is the greatest examples of hypertrophy, and skin warts is the greatest examples of hyperplasia. So that's about the hypertrophy and hyperplasia. So that's about today's class. So here I am giving the glossary. Here what we learned: cellular adaptation cells will come back to normal after cessation of the causes. When you remove the causes, the cell will come back to the normal. Hypertrophy means increase the size of the cells. Hyperplasia means increase the number of the cells. Hyperplasia occur in the permanent cells and hypertrophy occurring into the labile and stable cells. So that's about the today's class. So here I am asking the MCQ questions, because MCQ questions nowadays, the most of the examination, UPSC, everything, the MCQ questions is the important one. So here I am giving the 3 MCQ questions from the different examinations I am collecting, I am giving. So it is very important. If you are able to answer these 3 MCQ questions, that itself you have understood about the hypertrophy and hyperplasia. So number 1, hypertrophy and hyperplasia means: number 1, decrease the size and decrease the number, and number 2, increase the size and increase the number, and 3, increase the size and decrease number, and 4th one is none. Question number 2, regeneration of the liver after partial hepectomy is the examples of: number 1, hypertrophy; number 2, hyperplasia; number 3, both 1 and 2, and both none of the above. Number 3, both hyperplasia and hypertrophy found in: number 1, pregnancy uterus; number 2, skeletal muscle subtle in sports person; number 3, breast development in puberty; and third one, it is a cardiomegaly. So put your answer in the YouTube comment box, and I am requesting all the students to answer into the YouTube comment box. If you are able to answer these 3 questions, that itself understood that you have studied hypertrophy and hyperplasia properly. So that's about my class. So this is the today's reference book. Thanks to those reference. So that's about the today's class. So next class I am going to the atrophy as well as into the metaplasia, the remaining cellular adaptations. So before ending my class, I am always quote this word: knowledge is our power. Study well. So we'll meet into the next class. Thank you.